Okay, so I've depleted the battery down to 0 in my runtime tests, so I'm going to charge it back up with solar, and I don't expect that I'll fill it up to 100% with solar, but I want to see how high I can charge it with solar using this test. I'm not completely sure what the sun's going to do today, so we'll find out at the conclusion. So first I'll deploy the solar panel. Let's head around to the backside. I'll pull the cables out here. Okay, so I have the adapter cable. I'll plug that in here, and I'll plug that in the input. So the screen immediately turned on, and we're getting 50 watts of charging right now. So next I want to work on aiming this. So for the most optimum charging, you want the panel aimed directly at the sun. You also don't want anything shading it. So a tip for aiming it is to use a cylinder and place it against the panel. So here I have a paint can, and I want to angle and tilt the panel until the shadow disappears. So I think that's pretty good. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's very close. Now, needless to say, the sun is going to move, so throughout the day, I'll want to come out here and re-aim it. Right now, it's pointed very much towards the east because it's very early in the morning. So if we look on the power station, we're now getting 66 watts of solar charging. So this is an 80 watt panel, and it can be very difficult to get the exact rated wattage of the panel, but I think we're looking pretty good right now. So to adjust the angle of this, I just pulled these feet out, and it has these holes here, so if you're camping or something, it looks like you could put some tent stakes in here to support it a little bit. I just butted it up against the battery because this concrete is a relatively slick surface and it would potentially slide. Now I do want to keep the battery out of the sun, so I'll throw something on here to shade it a little bit. I could also tuck it behind the panel here. So it does say the charge time at this rate would be 16 hours. Now I'm not going to have that much sunlight in a day, so I already know this won't charge up to 100%. But we should get a pretty significant charge so long as the sun keeps shining today. So I'll check in with this throughout the day, and then I'll sum it up at the end of the day. Okay, so it's a little past noon. We're currently at 11% state of charge, so I'm going to move the panel into the sun so we can get charging again. Okay, so I repositioned the panel, and now I'm getting around 70 watts of charging. I'm not at the perfect optimum angle, but I'm pretty close. Now there's going to be a tree in the way shortly, so I'll probably have to come out and re-aim this in a bit. Okay, so it's a little after 6 p.m., and we normally would have some more sunlight, but it looks like there's a storm coming. So I think I'm done charging for the day. So if we look at the battery here, we got about 29% charge on the battery. Now there were a couple of times I was a little late getting it repositioned as trees were shading it and such. So if I was in a more sunny area, I think I could have easily got a third of the battery charged today. So to put this away, I'll just unplug it. And now I'll fold up the panel. And I'll stow the cable in the pouch. I'll also turn off the power station. So I started at 0 and I was able to recover just under a third of the power. Now I could have been more attentive at turning the solar panel towards the sun during the day and making sure it wasn't in the shade, and that would have helped recover more of the charge. But it looks like there's a storm coming, so I'm going to head inside and take cover. Okay, so I'm out here at this stump, and this is quite a ways from a power outlet. So if we wanted to run a corded drill out here, we'd have to run a really long extension cord. So this is a perfect application for using a power station like the PB1000. So this has 1200 watts output. Now this drill on idle with no load is I think around 250 watts or so, maybe 200, something like that. And then at load, I think it was getting around 800 watts. Now it's possible this could trigger some overcurrent protection because we have this long bit we're going into a stump, but we'll try it out. And this is a very old antique drill here. So I'll get a shot of drilling a hole, and then I'll do another shot looking at the display so you can see the wattage that it's drawing. So the battery seemed to handle that just fine. I was kind of tapping out the power of this drill. Let me get another shot showing the display here. Okay, so now I'll drill another hole. So that worked out really nice. We've tried drilling these with a cordless drill, but this is the biggest drill we have, or the most powerful for this kind of job. So it's nice being able to pull power directly where you need it, and it can essentially turn many corded tools into cordless tools. Okay, so I'm getting set up for outdoor movie night. So I have the ICECO here plugged into my projector, and I have the projector on a tripod, and I just looped a rope around the hook on the tripod to the handle of the power station just to give the tripod a little bit more stability. Now I actually have a power outlet probably 4 or 5 feet from where we're plugged in, so I could easily get an extension cord and plug it in, but I really like this option because if you look around here, there's no cords sticking out here. So it's going to be dark soon, people are going to be walking around this area, and no one's going to be tripping. With a portable power station like the ICECO, I have a standalone setup here. Of course, if you don't have an extension cord nearby, this is even more useful. So you could take this camping in your RV, you could take it out in the back of your lot and maybe point this at a garage or a shed. So the projector is currently on, and this projector draws around 200 watts, and it says we'll have about 7 hours of runtime, so we'll easily have enough power to watch a movie. We could even watch a couple movies. Okay, so this has the wireless charging on top. So to activate it, I'll just turn this on. And I don't need to turn on DC output, USB, or any of those. I can just place the phone right on top, center it, and it will start charging. So here you can see it's charging. The PB1000 can also act as a UPS. That's an uninterruptible power supply. So I currently have this tower computer and monitor plugged into the power here, and this is plugged into the wall. So it's passing through power from the power cord to the computer. It's not using the battery, but if I unplug it from the wall, it will automatically switch to the battery, and we shouldn't see a disruption in the computer. Okay, so I heard a relay click here, and now it's running off the battery. So it's currently drawing 66 watts, and it says we have about 13, 14 hours of runtime. Now this is at idle. If I start doing something, that may go up or down. Let's say the power goes back on. I'll plug this back in. I heard a relay click, and now it's sending power through to the computer again.